Last Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. We're so glad you're here. Look, the stranger decided to join us.
Oh, look at it.
It's Al Jackson, everybody.
We did it.
Yes.
Good to be back, and thank you for letting that almost non-applause just die out. I appreciate it. You should have talked to people before you
Nobody
did that.
applauded.
That's all right.
Just
You
me.
did. I'll take it.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Well, we're very glad you're back. Former President Donald Trump sat for deposition yesterday in New York, and for hours he took his Fifth Amendment right not to answer questions out of fear of incriminating himself. Now, he did that more than 400 times. Trump did answer one question, giving his name. This is all part of investigation into his business property, his valuations, his loans. Trump's lawyers reportedly convinced him that taking the Fifth was in his best interest. But many of you are pointing out Trump's previous statements in the past about people who do the very same thing. They plead the Fifth. Take a look.
So there are 5 people taking the Fifth Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
All right. So what do you think of Trump taking the Fifth, Al? Were you surprised? Talk to us.
No, yeah, he better. Yeah. It's like, look, we all watch those true crime shows. When you're in the back and the cops are questioning you about the disappearance of your husband and wife, you're not back there because they're trying to make sure that you're innocent. They're not your friend. They're back there to get you to trip up, Jeff. And I mean, honestly, with a situation where like anything that he says can and would be used against him here and in the 48,000 other cases, he literally should not say anything else except for Donald J. Trump, and I do not recall I plead the Fifth.
What do you think about him saying before that anyone who takes the Fifth isn't innocent?
Honestly, I thought his answer, I was like, how is he going to get past that one? And he said, you know what, that's what I thought before. But then I realized that they were all out to get me. I feel like that's what you should do. And I was like, that was good. I don't know how you got out of that one.
It's a pivot.
When I watched the first 48 and they know enough at the end and they finally get their guy and he's like, I need a lawyer. I'm like, no, yeah. I just watched for an hour, man. I wanted to see what happened. But listen, in this case, man, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. What would you do, Tori? You're our resident lawyer.
1,000,000% take the Fifth. 1,000% take the Fifth.
I would say in any situation, personal, no matter what, like you should just not talk.
And you should get yourself someone who understands the law. What's ironic here is clearly the juxtaposition of him going after so many people who have taken the Fifth and saying they're clearly guilty, they're clearly guilty. Well, that rains down on my vision of Trump as someone who pivots no matter what and cons people no matter what, so it fits him the best way. Of course, today it's good for him to take the Fifth, but before, you were guilty.
I find it surprising, to be honest with you, because I feel like Trump is so narcissistic that he feels like he could talk his way out of anything. So his lawyer would probably like, guy, you gotta take the Fifth. Like it must have been a big thing, because I don't see him laying down right away, even if he knew his rights. I just see him trying to talk his way out.
1,000,000%. And I think at some point some law firms didn't take Trump as a client only because they feared
they felt they couldn't control
him, just like you said, Jeff. So I agree with you. Speaking of Trump, some people on the right are very upset over Monday's search of Mar-a-Lago by the FBI. So some far-right extremists are even targeting the judge now who signed the warrant for that raid. They have now published his home address, his phone number, names of his relatives online. They have even threatened violence. FBI Director Christopher Wray is not happy about all of this, calling it, quote, deplorable and dangerous. He said, quote, violence against law enforcement is not the answer, no matter who you're upset with. Remember, Trump appointed that man. Meantime, both Newsweek and the Wall Street Journal are reporting that an informant, we got a mole, we think, tipped off investigators about the possibility of more classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and where to find them, which led to the FBI search. In the D.C. world, some people are saying it's very speculative. His chief of staff, Mark Meadows, who everyone called during January 6th to control him, has suddenly stopped speaking to Trump and now is working cooperatively, and he might be the person that's like, look in the safe, look in the safe.
I mean, That's how they take down criminal organizations. I mean, you think about, I was talking with a friend of mine about this yesterday, about how the mob, like, it's all about omerta and, like, we're loyalty. And I believe people believe that. But when they get you in that back room, like we were talking about, and they start throwing football jersey numbers at you, 23, 28 years, I think a lot of people are like, okay, now here's where Jeff was. And then he told me, because no one wants to spend, especially the age these people are, they don't want to spend the rest of their life behind bars. So I could definitely see that there was a mole. That
didn't surprise you.
That did not surprise me at all, because in any criminal investigation, having a father who's a former attorney, he was like, the person that rolls first is going to get the best deal. The person who rolls second is going to get the second best deal. And you're sitting there thinking about Leighton and Lawson, like, oh, do I want to see them when they're 28 and 30 years old, or what do I want to do? So I understand that there's a human element to this as well, of like, yeah, Republican, MAGA, all that's cool, but like, I want to hang out with my family. I want to be at home.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know. It's kind of weird when you mention the mafia now. That's a different thing. Was he being pressured, whoever the mole was, if there was a mole, right? This is all speculation. This is going on 3 days. I don't know if we're going to get an answer before the weekend. I'd rather wait till we get some answers, right? What happened, what they found, why this guy rolled over. It makes more sense now because all of Trump's inner circle was going to go down. Then you could start putting the pieces together. When we're speculating about nothing, we don't even know why they were there, let alone what they found, right? So maybe we could get a better idea of who's rolling and why later.
Will it matter to you if we found out the documents that they got? What documents would be there where you'd be like, I'm glad they went in there? Because sometimes things are classified and they're not really.
Well, according to some people, some of these documents were so top secret classified, they aren't even allowed to discuss what the description of the papers would be. That's how classified some of these speculatively, you're absolutely right, allegedly are. But what would make you feel like, oh, I'm glad that they got those out? Things about nuclear options, wartime, national security, Department of Homeland Security.
Like I said, you never know who has been corrupted, in any organization. You don't know who's been made vulnerable by anything. And if they have documents,
unless there was no pressure on you, why would you roll over? That's what I'm saying. So there had to be some
definitely pressure.
There had to be some pressure, but I don't even know what that would be. What would like a third guy down from Trump feel the pressure that he might go to jail and roll over on Trump for that? So that seems pretty, like, if you're going to do that for no reason, there's got to be a reason. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, there has to be a reason.
I can't connect the dots until I know a little bit more on why you just roll over for no reason. He's not the president anymore.
Right. But he's a private citizen, right? And these are people that are fiercely loyal to this man. So like, I wanted to keep that in mind. These are people that are here at the end, not the people that were at the beginning. The people that are here now are the people that are like ride or die Trump people. So the fact that some of them may be moles, let's let you know that maybe they got something on them.
And don't forget, he used Mar-a-Lago a lot as his safe haven to deal with world leaders instead of the White House, which most people do. So any documents there are going to be highly classified, and I wonder if they're being looked at as well. Coming up on DBL, let us know what you think. Jane Seymour joined us to remember her dear friend Olivia Newton-John. You really don't want to miss her stories from their beautiful 40-year friendship. And the parenting feud between Britney Spears and Kevin Federline continues. This time with receipts. There's videos. What Britney was caught on camera doing next.
Closed captioning provided by.
If you're in the market.
I think it is one of those stories we're all going to be like, what?
So raised you.
Why am I right all the time?
Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
Am I going crazy?
And they made deals there.
This is what Kevin posted on the video, so I think
it's good to be back. I was in New York, had a good time. I was in Brooklyn doing a comedy show with my friends up there. And it's weird, I'm sure you guys have this too. Like, you have to do that, what I call COVID math.
That's the problem.
Where you don't realize how long it's been since you've seen each other. But
I know I get triggered by yours, but I
used to do a show with two of my good friends. One's an actor now and a comic, and the other one owns a bar and a restaurant in New York, and he's also an actor and a comic. And my buddy said to me, like, we all haven't been in the same room together in almost 4 years, and it's that weird thing where you're like, oh, that COVID math, where like you have to put almost 2.5 years on top of any other time that you've been away from friends. So it was like a really great weekend. I had one of those being in New York, because I lived there early in my career for 6 years. It was definitely kind of going back to like, oh, I remember the subways, and like I was telling everybody, like, going back to New York was very much
She also said that she loved them too much.
Career. Yes, talk to Karen. She has information.
She also said that she loved them too much.
How was y'all weekend? It was good for me. But I missed my DBL crew.
We thought, no joke.
Tell everybody where you thought I
Sam
was.
said you were at a business meeting, and all of us, I think, independently thought Al was like in New York at like a hedge fund meeting.
I feel like that's code for like
I've
been arrested in
Yeah, and I was like, what is he doing there? Like,
Where's that? He's at a business meeting.
They said you
for
were also
11 months.
They said you were at a business talk, and we were like, what's going on with Al?
I don't think people that are in business refer to it as business.
No.
It's only outsiders who are like, I'm doing some business. I have my business
I got
suit
talk.
on.
You're the law talking guy.
If that's your job, you don't go, we're going to talk business today.
Yeah, that's true. Have you seen The Simpsons, the bad lawyer played by Phil Hartman?
Yes.
Remember him? And he goes, Troy McClure.
No.
Yes, Troy McClure. And he goes,
No,
you're the...
Lionel Hutz.
Oh, is that right? You're right. Troy McClure's the... Yeah, and he goes, you're the law
fact that I know
talking
that.
guy. You're absolutely right. Troy McClure was the actor. Welcome back. All right, there's more drama between Britney Spears and her ex, Kevin Federline, surrounding their two sons. The two have been feuding, as you know, ever since Kevin gave an interview about Britney's strained relationship with their sons, who are now 15 and 16. Yesterday, Britney posted a very lengthy message on Instagram accusing her boys of being, quote, hateful toward her. She said when visiting her, the boys would just go to the rooms, and the visits went from 2 or 3 days a week to 1. She also confirmed that she found it harsh when her kids asked to come over less. Well, Kevin then posted 3 now deleted videos of Britney arguing with her boys, which are then apparently taken without her knowledge when they were about 11 or 12. Here is some of those videos.
This is my house. If I want to come in here and give you lotion for your face because it is coarse, and all you tell me, no, it's fine, it's fine. No, it's not fine. You all better start respecting me. Are we clear? I am a woman, okay? Be nice to me. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of feelings I can sense in the studio of, oh my God. But I also can tell and ask you two as parents, have you ever said that to your kids in that tone when you didn't know if you were being recorded of like, you better respect me?
Not towards me. Jeff, what about you? Like, have you talked to your boys about like maybe respecting other people in your family or something like that? Like,
I've never referred to anyone's skin as coarse.
Yeah, that was the horse's hair. Have I said that about? Yeah,
and I think we have another soundbite.
Okay,
let's take a look at that as well, just to get the full picture.
Have you lost your mind? I do care, but I'm shocked as with you. And I don't know what to do. And I'm scared of you because you're weird, because you're going through puberty. I don't know what to say. But I do care more than you know. But don't be, my little body can't handle all of that. There's like, sometimes I just don't even know what to say with you. I was in shock. And I do care.
They don't respect her. That's what it is. That's the problem. They don't respect her. And you can tell by the way they're talking, like, you're weird. Not, like, almost so disaffected. It's a different level, Jeff, when somebody doesn't even care enough to raise their voice. You know, when you feel like it's an equal adversary. If you and I were going at it nose to nose, like, there would be loud talking. But if you got really upset and I was just like, whatever, Jeff, that's a different level of interacting with somebody. Like, you're not worth my time. And that's what I heard, brother. What'd you hear?
That's almost like when the parents are, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
And the arguing
reverse.
stops. Yeah. And arguing stops. Listen, I'm going to take 2 sides to this story. One, I've been upset, right, with my kids. I've said some things. My wife has said some things. And then, you know, you get a little heated. And if there was a recorder there, it might look like this, right? I'm going to take Britney's side on that one because we're all human in the end, at the end of the day. On the flip side, the way people just blindly defend Britney boggles my mind, right? If you're like, Beyonce is great, but don't you finish that sentence, you know what I mean? It's like that. We're getting that way with Britney.
Oh, yeah.
Is it maybe Britney is a little bit not well, and Kevin Federline might be a good father? Is that a possibility, or am I?
I absolutely.
Is the Britney Spears fan club coming for me?
Even if they do, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to ask that question, and maybe that question should be asked of every parent of all time.
But how come people get crazy when you try to say there might be something wrong mentally with Britney Spears?
Because Britney represents so much more to people.
Agreed.
But that doesn't make it right.
Well,
it doesn't, not at all.
I think, honestly, for me at least, the conservatorship being so abusive and with the medicine given and the IUD, I feel like she wasn't given her narration at all. So I feel strongly that maybe her voice has been left out. But I hear you too, Jeff. We'll be right back.
Millions of Americans have diabetes and need insulin to survive, but the price of the drug is often expensive. The Inflation Reduction Act, a bill recently passed by the U.S. Senate, which in part aims to lower rising costs of goods while paying down the nation's debt, also includes provisions to make healthcare more affordable. But there are a lot of tweets like this one on social media claiming that Senate Republicans just succeeded in stripping the $35 per month insulin price cap from the bill, keeping insulin prices high for Americans. So let's verify. Was the price cap on insulin removed from the Inflation Reduction Act? Our sources are the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This claim needs some context. The final version of the Inflation Reduction Act, passed by the Senate, does cap insulin prices for some people, but not for as many as originally intended. Let me explain. The original text of the bill capped insulin prices for both Medicare and private insurance patients at $35 a month. But the cap for patients with private insurance ran afoul of Senate rules, forcing a separate vote on that provision, which failed to get enough Republican support to pass. As a result, the approved bill caps insulin prices at $35 a month for Medicare patients only. More than 63 million Americans are enrolled in Medicare, and 1 out of every 3 Medicare patients has diabetes, according to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So we can verify that the Inflation Reduction Act still contains a price cap on insulin, but it only applies to Medicare patients and not for people with private insurance. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
We're continuing to honor the late Olivia Newton-John, and earlier we were joined by actress Jane Seymour, Olivia's longtime friend, to talk about Olivia's legacy and her love for life. It was beautiful. Take a look.
Jane, we had you on our show not too long ago, and while we are elated to have you back, I know it's under very difficult circumstances. We are so sorry to hear about the passing of your good friend, Olivia. She was kind. Like, that's all that should matter, right? What was your last conversation with Olivia like?
I was there with my sisters. We went out to the ranch. You know, she didn't let many people come out there. She was incredibly frail. And she'd got the day wrong. So we arrived and she was still in bed and obviously not expecting any company. And somehow or other, the people around her kind of, you know, she wanted to come out. So they kind of dressed her up and brought her out. And all she wanted to know was about us. She wanted to know how my sisters were doing. And she wanted to know and talk about our mutual friends who were going through cancer right now. She wanted to know about my kids, my life. And then, you know, she just had this glow in her face, and she just said, you know, the pain had been really bad, and that John was doing amazing things trying to help her deal with the pain. And she just looked around. She said, "Isn't it lovely here?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "You know, I sit out here and I look at the hummingbirds and look at the sky and look at the dogs." And she just said, you know, she loved life. And I think she honestly hung on way longer than anyone ever imagined. And I believe she did it because she just wanted to make sure Chloe was going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. What I think is so extraordinary, and wanted your take on this, she seems so deliberately positive. Like, she manifested that she would not speak ill of her body because she thought that could then happen.
I know, I absolutely. I mean, we're on the same page about everything. I mean, we have absolutely the same values, the same belief system, all of it. And that's, part of what our relationship was. We also had children around the same time. And because I had a kid and I was, very busy as an actress at the time, she kind of looked at me and said, how do you do that? And jokingly, I said, you know how to make a baby? She said, no, how do you do it all? How do you have a career and raise a child? And so I would say in the 40 years that we really were talking to one another, it was always, how do you do it? She just said, hey, I have cancer. I'm going to let the world know what this looks like. And I'm going to really share with them that it's a body, mind, and spirit experience, as is life. And wellness is all of it. It's about being happy in your own skin. It's about living with and thriving with cancer.
I think everyone was moved to tears, me included, by John Travolta's tribute post. Do you think Olivia knew how much he loved her?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I've had the privilege of knowing John. I actually made a movie with his wife, his late wife, Kelly. And there's a very, very special bond between them. I mean, very much so. Yes.
What about her character as Sandy? Everyone knows her as Sandy. Did she embrace that, or did she want to be something else?
No, I think there was a lot of Sandy in her, I think Olivia, was very happy to be the goody-goody kind of person, and she loved to just, slick it up and put on the leather jacket, and she was total rock chick.
I have to hear from you. What does she leave behind for those still battling cancer, in your opinion?
What she's just done recently, just before she passed, when she was still able to, was unbelievable. She actually personally spoke to at least 3 people I know very close to me who are battling cancer right now. And what she's done for the world is she has opened up this conversation. And she built this extraordinary hospital in Melbourne, which I had the privilege of being in. And she called me one time when she was in the hospital, and she said, you'll never guess where I am. I'm in the hospital. And I said, oh, you're visiting, isn't it great? She said, no, I'm here as a patient. And I never imagined this would happen. She said, but what I built, she said, I'm so proud of it. They're taking such great care of me. And it's everything I wanted. I wanted there to be a place where body, mind, and spirit were healed. She was just looking out and just saying, aren't we lucky to be alive? Aren't we lucky to love and be loved?
Jane, I can't imagine how difficult this is for you. We so appreciate you honoring your friend on our show. We loved having you here, and our thoughts and prayers with her family, but you as well. Thank you, Jane. We hope to see you soon.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
It's time to verify. Gas prices are finally pumping out some stability, though nationwide they are much higher than this time last summer. But we're seeing prices tick back below $4 in most locations. And a viewer noticed the price change and also the big price disparity between fuel types. Kenneth Craven asked, why is diesel price higher than gasoline? Many years ago, diesel was much cheaper because it supposedly was the leftover product of refining. So is it true diesel used to be more expensive than gas? Our sources are Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy and the U.S. Energy Information Administration, known by its acronym EIA. They confirm it's true. This EIA chart shows diesel prices below $2 before 2005, but a steady incline since then. Prices peaked in the 2008 and 2022 economic downturns. The EIA explains in the early 2000s, the average diesel price was often lower than regular gas, except during really cold winters. Ever since September 2004, 3 factors have flipped the trend. Demand for diesel increased throughout the world. The federal excise tax on diesel became 6 cents higher than that of regular gas, and the U.S. transitioned to ultra-low sulfur diesel, affecting diesel production and distribution.
You'll remember back in the 80s and 90s, diesel used to be sooty. It would burn completely different. Now there's a lot of clean diesel. That is, diesel has really cleaned up in terms of the specifications, the sulfur content. A lot of that sulfur has been removed, and it comes at a great cost. Cleaning up that fuel has cost billions of dollars in new emissions equipment at refineries.
That's why DeHaan said diesel prices will remain more expensive than gas for the foreseeable future, and it's advantageous for manufacturers to keep producing it.
Because in essence, diesel, which many consider used to be a byproduct of trying to produce gasoline, is not really a byproduct at all. In fact, refineries in many instances have been trying to produce more diesel than they have gasoline because diesel prices have been higher.
In conclusion, we verified, yes, it's true. Diesel used to be cheaper than gas, but that changed in the early 2000s, primarily because emission standards became stricter. And even though diesel is now the cleaner fuel option, it cannot go into cars. In fact, most diesel pumps won't even fit into a standard car's gas tank because diesel will destroy the engine. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Heading back to the classroom may bring up a lot of mixed feelings for kids. Let's connect the dots. Health experts say kids who normally have a little bit of trouble separating from mom and dad will see their anxiety peak during times of stress or transition, making it challenging for kids if they're moving to a new school or a different grade. Health experts say there are some common signs to look out for. Problems with concentration, clinginess to caregivers, stomach problems, and headaches. Experts say parents should listen to their worries. Try meeting with a teacher and visit the school before the first day. In addition, officials say you should let someone like the school nurse or teacher aide know they may need a little extra support. If your child's anxiety doesn't go away over time and starts to interfere with school, give their doctor a call. And that is Connecting the Dots.
What time is it? Do you guys know? Oh, wait, it's time for you to get the best savings out of the best deals. Check out these products from our friends at Morning Save. Steph, what do you have for us today?
Hi, Tori. Hey, DBL Nation. I am so excited to show you the deals today. You're going to absolutely love it. Let's go and get started. We have got the Diamond Muse 1/4 carat TW Diamond Heart Toggle Bracelet. So this bracelet features a 1/4 carat of round diamonds and a heart detail that just dazzles. Now, normally, Tori, it's $199, but guess what? We got it for just $79. So it's saving everyone 60%.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. That's right.
Love it. Now, what about this one? We've got the Orky Elevation wireless charging earbuds with in-ear detection. Your tunes only play when the earbuds are in your ear, and they'll stop when they're taken out.
Oh, wow, that's smart.
So normally these are $42.
Okay, not that bad.
But we've got them for just $19. You are saving 55%.
Oh my God.
And that's a lot less than other brands. Brilliant
really
product.
is.
Now, it's the Parsex Deep Tissue Percussion Massager. So this deal includes one massage gun with 6 attachment heads. They are compact, travel-friendly, 3 speed options, and normally this is $149. But we've got it, Tori, for $39, which is saving 74%.
That's such a deal, you guys.
And for our last product, we have got Laundry by Shelly Segal Chenille Tank and Short Sleeve Set. We've got grey, light pink, and light blue.
That's cute.
So this is normally $58.
Okay.
But we've got it, Tori, for $20.
I would spend that.
Yeah, so it's saving 66%, and it's so chic.
We're baking in this heat, so like just have something to work from home, even if you can. This is a really great option. Head on over, everyone, to morningsave.com. Let us know what you buy to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even just take your phone and scan that QR code. It's right on your screen. It's going to take you directly to these specific products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. I got those PJs, and they are soft, comfortable,
I
and
called the
fashionable.
AirPods. I called them.
We're out of time. DBL's new every day. Bye, guys.